What up, everybody? How's it going? All right, let's see. Are we on? Are we on? Bueller. Want to make sure that we're on first. What up, everybody? How's it going? All right, let's see. Okay, we are on. Oh, sorry, this is the back end of my website or YouTube, I should say. Um, Welcome back to another YouTube live session. This news was actually from yesterday, but I was working all day this morning and I just got back home and I figured, you know what? This is as good a time as any to discuss this latest topic, this latest update on the infamous, I think we can call him, or them, I should say, infamous, right? We can call Ezra Miller infamous. The infamous Ezra Miller and the ongoing PR nightmare that he had been, or they had been causing, and they had been causing WB so much headache. So, as we discussed previously, we all knew that it would come to a point where WB had to, decide on what to do with the Ezra Miller situation because Ezra keeps just wreaking havoc, man, left and right. And the latest news, of course, is with that whole supposedly grooming Tokata Iron Eyes, the Native American lady who's now an adult. But I told you guys there's not much grooming there because she is now an adult and she can make her own choices. You can make an argument that hey, Ezra kind of befriended her before she turned 18, but we don't want to go down that road anymore. But the whole thing again, of course, when Ezra got arrested in Europe at a bar, and then no, I'm sorry, they got arrested at the bar in Hawaii. I'm sorry, Hawaii karaoke bar. The Europe thing that was a few months before, I want to say, and you can double check me on that. But Ezra did not get arrested on that or there, but he did get arrested in Hawaii. So it's just an ongoing thing with Ezra Miller, and so WB of course has to decide what to do with Ezra. And so here's an update from Deadline Hollywood. I think this was from Friday, I believe. Let me just let's read this together. All right. Even though it isn't on the WB release calendar until June 23rd, 2023, The Flash is becoming Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav's first movie crisis because of the escalating coverage of incidents of volatile and odd behavior involving the film star Ezra Miller. Zaslav has made it clear his desire to grow the DC universe to MCU scale and has all the ingredients of a first foot forward in The Flash, including the return of Michael Keaton as Batman, along with the reprise by Ben Affleck. A $200 million budget. Holy crap, dude! Holy crap! The Flash movie alone cost them $200 million in budget. Wow. And I'm guessing that's not even including marketing, promotional. This is probably just the production budget. And a hot director in Andy Muschietti who delivered the blockbuster It for the studio. The Warner Brothers Discovery CEO exercised his well-known penchant for micromanagement by declining to greenlight Wonder Twins for being too niche. So Zaslav had canceled the project Wonder Twins. I was actually looking forward to that. Zaslav will have to soon make a decision on what to do with the completed picture that is The Flash and what to do with a young actor who appears to have serious offset issues. Hence Ezra Miller. Deadline has heard that the studio has tried getting help for Miller. Now, this report doesn't clarify if it's psychiatric help, counseling help, maybe rehab help. It doesn't say it here. But they tried to get some help from Miller. But the troubling headlines continue to pile up. Could you send a potential liability on a global publicity tour and have the actor anchor a huge studio franchise play? That's right. I've told you guys before, Amber Heard is not really the face of Aquaman franchise. Jason Momoa is. But Ezra Miller is the face of the Flash franchise. he's the his face is on the posters, on the billboards. And so the old saying that any publicity is good publicity. Turns out there's an exception to that because when it comes to Ezra Miller, that is one publicity that WB doesn't want to be associated with. It's like this is not good publicity at all. This is PR nightmare. Zaslav has several choices, and he will make one of them soon. Among them, he can pull back on heavily promoting the summer 2023 film, confining it to some P&A and publicity tour, um, or he can relegate it to streaming service with HBO Max and take a write down. So instead of releasing it theatrically, he'll just dump it on HBO Max, which of course has a deal with WB's DCEU. Uh, HBO Max last year released the Zack Snyder Justice League recut, which is awesome. Or here's another option: lean in toward making the movie a hit, and then drop Miller if they can't straighten things out. Warner Brothers did that when it dropped Johnny Depp from the Grindelwald character in Fantastic Beasts franchise, which I still disagree with that decision to this day. I was like, and now that Johnny Depp had won that defamation lawsuit, I was like, cool. So that validates him, and that puts a shame on WB for firing Johnny Depp. After the actor's well-publicized unsuccessful UK lawsuit, so that's not the Amber Heard trial, that's the against Sun Magazine, I believe. The studio replaced Depp with Mads Mikkelsen. One studio source tells Deadline, there is no winning in this for Warner Brothers. This is an inherited problem for Zaslav. The hope is that the scandal will remain at a low level before the movie is released next year, The Flash, and hope for the best to turn out. Sources said, even if no more, here you go, here's important, guys. Even if no more allegations surface about Ezra Miller, the studio will not likely to keep Miller in the Flash role in the future DC films. Hence the title of this video. I'm confident enough to title it, He Got Fired. After this movie comes out next year, whether it comes out straight to HBO Max, whether, whatever the format will be, he's no longer going to be associated with DC films. Now, if the paragraph says the studio might not, or probably, or perhaps no, it says won't likely to keep Miller in the Flash role in the future DC films. That would mean replacing him in the future, but there is still a $200 million investment. Again, the budget is $200 million. Holy crap. On the line with the first film that's already in the can. They shot it. It's already finished product. We saw the teaser at the DC Fandom last year, right? And Warner Brothers execs have to be cringing at each new press report, at each new incident involving Ezra Miller that comes up, every other whatever. So yeah, man, that's a lot of money. Woo! Man, what would I do with $200 million? You know what? I would probably build the Fortress of Solitude. Like the one in the Superman movie, in the Arctic, made of crystals and ice. I would do that with my $200 million money. Build an actual Fortress of Solitude. If not an Arctic, somewhere here in California, but I know it's going to melt. So yeah, that's a big loss if nobody wants to watch the movie because of Ezra Miller, because audiences are turned off by Ezra Miller. $200 million down the drain, man, that's not going to be good. So it doesn't, from this paragraph, at least from this article, there doesn't seem to be a decision yet on that aspect. Because the first film is still scheduled to come out. We saw the options here, basically limiting the publicity tour, maybe just a few select press, and maybe not have Ezra speaking to the press during that tour, but he can walk the red carpet. Sometimes that happens. Or HBO Max, straight to that. But the third option, lean into making the movie a hit and then drop Miller if they can't straighten things out. So are they still trying to straighten things out with Miller? Because the earlier paragraph said they tried to get him some help, but it didn't work out. So what does this mean, straighten things out from now till 2023? What are they trying to do? What other efforts are they trying to attempt on Miller? So that's a good question to ask. Are they confident enough to predict that it could be a hit? They're trying to make the movie a hit. Now, if you ask me, guys, is there a chance for the movie to be a hit, riding only on the fact that Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck are in the movie? I would say so. I mean, I would suspect that a lot of people, including me, I would want to watch the movie just for that, the Flashpoint multiverse sort of storyline. I was like, I want to see Michael Keaton back as Batman. Yeah, in the back of my head, I'll be like, oh man, it's such a shame what Ezra Miller had been doing, um, in the real world, off the set. But man, Michael Keaton as Batman, Ben Affleck in a movie together, I'd still pay to see that. So there is still a chance that the movie could be a hit, regardless of the bad publicity that Ezra Miller had been giving the studio. Let's see here. Go to the live chat. Dominic says, "I always stumbled onto the live chats." Welcome. You're always welcome anytime, Dominic. Raul Reynolds drawing. Selamat malam Rama. Apa kabar? Raul is talking Indonesian. He said, "Good evening, Rama. How are you? I'm fine, thank you." Oh my God, Ezra just hit his acting peak, and this happens with him. Right, right. Remember, I told you many times at the end of the previous videos about this topic. I was like, Ezra, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? You have it so good. You have a career that's an envy of every other aspiring and struggling actor in Hollywood. You, Ezra, you came from an indie world, independent world. I remember in that movie, We Need to Talk About Kevin. Remember that, guys? That movie? And then also Ezra was also fantastic in that film, The Stanford Prison Experiment. Remember that? Ezra came from an independent world, independent, films, indie circuit, and now like, Ezra became a big star, and Ezra just wasted it all away, just shit on all that success. I'm like, really? What are you doing? What are you thinking, man? You have it. You're there. You're at the mountaintop, and you're just shitting all over it. It's just I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't get it. So, oh, Robert is here. Hey, Rama, how are you doing, my friend? I'm well. Thank you, Robert. Thank you for tuning in. So yeah, after the Flash movie, it says here that it's not likely for WB to keep Miller in the Flash role, and WB is just hoping for Ezra Miller scandal to remain at a low level before the movie is released next year. That's the best hope they could do. So they're just hoping and praying, like, please, from now till next year, don't let anything else. Please, no more scandal, please. if there's another thing that comes up about Ezra Miller, please let it be like something minor, like a DUI or a parking ticket. Please. WB's like, oh, $200 million, guys, $200 million. Oh my God. And the rest are just the rest of this article are just to give you context of what Ezra Miller did. Remember, Ezra got arrested at a karaoke bar in Hawaii, and of course the whole thing with the Native American woman named Tokata Iron Eyes. But don't forget that there was also a temporary harassment prevention order this week from a 12-year-old and a mother in Greenfield, Massachusetts, against the actor after Ezra Miller allegedly menaced the family and acted inappropriately toward the non-binary child. So that's just creepy, dude. What are you doing, Ezra? What are you doing, like terrifying a mother and her 12-year-old? And remember, there's another also a report about Ezra Miller busting through a hotel door of some stranger and just, like intimidating them, like terrifying them. I was like, why? It just. Oh yeah, and there's a video went viral about Miller choking a woman and throwing her to the ground in Europe, in Iceland. What I said earlier, that's the specific of it. So it's like one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the. So WB is like, please, no more. And if there's something else that comes up, please let it be minor or some low-level shit. I know we just want to like mitigate the damage. No more, no further. But with Ezra Miller, you just never know. You just never know what might comes up next. It's like, ugh. The man just can't help himself. Non-binary, I should say. But yeah, I think it's safe to say that after this, after the Flash, WB is gonna cut ties with Ezra Miller. They're not gonna have him be part of DCU anymore. As far as the Flash movie, they're still wrecking their brains. They're still brainstorming, like, oh, what are we gonna do? How do we get the best return on investment on this $200 million? Otherwise it'll go down the drain. Um, if you ask me though, I don't mind the movie going straight to HBO Max. Do you guys mind? I I personally don't mind, and that could be a pretty good selling point to get more subscribers. That's what they did with Zack Snyder's Justice League. Straight to HBO Max, and of course everybody subscribed to HBO Max because of it. So why the hell not? Why the hell not? I think it's not a bad idea. I get it. I get it. Some movies are made for the big screen quality. Some movies are made, for theatrical enjoyment. You know, not for small screen or laptop screen purposes. Could you imagine watching Top Gun Maverick, not in theaters? That would have been, oh. By the way, if you haven't seen Top Gun Maverick, it's amazing. It's theater worthy, okay? Don't wait till it comes on streaming service. The flight sequences are amazing, breathtaking, exhilarating, whatever adjective you want to throw in there. It was made just for the theater enjoyment. I get it. I get it. So, is The Flash one of that, or one of those, or can it be enjoyed on your laptop on HBO Max streaming service just the same? We don't know. We don't know. But I would still pay. I would subscribe for the reason of Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck coming back as Batman in the same movie. I mean that to me that's enough to get me geeking out. Okay, Michael Keaton is my favorite Batman. So to have him back in that role is just, oh my god. I'm fangirling right now about Michael Keaton coming back as Batman. But yeah, I think it's safe to say that this is the end of the Flash will be the end of Ezra Miller's association with DCEU and WB. And yeah, shame on you, Ezra. Shame on you. You wasted all away. I would have loved to have your career. Hell, could you imagine getting paid millions of dollars, to play a role that's beloved? The Flash is one of the most beloved characters. It's just there's no sense of responsibility with Ezra. If you ask Henry Cavill or Gal Gadot in their interviews with press, they always say along the lines like, "Oh yeah, it comes with a sense of responsibility because this is such an iconic role. People look up to Superman or Wonder Woman, so I gotta represent, like that. Even in the real world, when I meet people, they would go on and on about that. But I don't get that impression from Ezra. I think Ezra just doesn't give a shit, man, and and that's sad. It's just sad. There's no sense of responsibility with him. Carrying this task, this mantle of the Flash, and yeah. I guess this is the end of it. Let's go here. Robert says Ezra is a mess, needs help. That's right. Robert says I've seen Top Gun Maverick twice already. Loved it. Right? Oh my God, Top Gun Maverick was amazing. Oh, what a great sequel, Robert. There's only a few sequels out there that are actually great, right? Terminator 2, Judgment Day. That's one of them. Die Hard 2, Die Harder, that was a great sequel. Toy Story 2, John Wick Chapter 2, right? Generally, most sequels are terrible, right? But those are the few that were actually great, including Top Gun Maverick. It's just fantastic. Robert makes the cut. Ezra lost his mind. Yeah, Ezra needs to get help. And now, he's a millionaire. He can step aside and get rehab or counsel or psychiatric, whatever. And maybe in a few years make a comeback, be a comeback kid. I think people love a comeback kid story, right? People love a redemption story, that's so maybe in a few years when the heat dies down, he can come back. He's got money. It's not like he needs money. It's not like I gotta do another movie, otherwise I'm broke. I'm going to a poorhouse. No, he's got money. That could last him for years. So maybe just ease off, Ezra, and let go away. Let the things cool down, and then be a comeback kid in a few years later. Robert Makes the Cut, Godfather Part 2. That's right. That's another great sequel. Thank you so much. Empire Strikes Back. That's right. That's right. The few actual great sequels. First Power 100 looks like Ezra is close to his character. We need to talk about Kevin. Then We Feared, and he played a mass murderer in that movie. That's right. That was a scary character. I saw that movie once, and I chose not to see it again because it sent chills down my spine. It was an indie gig, but it was just so kind of frightening in a way. Not in the Friday the 13th or Freddy Krueger night frightening, but it's just his character is so cold and it's so he's disturbed. There's something troubling about him. It's just, if you haven't seen We Need to Talk About Kevin, guys, go check it out. But First Power 100 makes a good point there. Looks like Ezra is getting closer to becoming his character in that movie, definitely, which is a red flag if he ever actually gets there. But yeah, such a shame. A career cut really short. Could have been a celebrated career for years to come. But hey, Ezra got nobody else to blame but themselves for this. And I don't blame WB DCEU for wanting to cut ties with him after the Flash movie. Because Ezra's just bad news, man. Ezra is toxic, okay? Bad for business. It's nothing personal, definitely. So, that's it. That's all I have to say about this topic. Thank you so much, Dominic. I think Dominic made another comment here. Let me get to the... As far as Miller, FAU invests $22,500 annually into me. If any organization invested $250 million into me, I would do whatever they want and act a professional as heck. Come on, Miller. Right, Dominic? Hell, somebody pays me $200 million. I'm like, yes. What do you want to do? What do you want me to do? Robert says, happy Sunday. Yes. Raul Reynolds drawing me. I'm a struggling screenwriter, and sometimes I wish I were that big and have that success. Right, Raul. At the risk of sounding like a broken record, I think what Ezra is doing is giving a bad name to actors, man. He's like, and what Ezra had been, all these incidents, all these kerfuffle or commotions, whatever you want to call it. Ezra is basically spitting at the face of his fellow actors, especially the ones that are not there at the point of his success. It's like Ezra is just shitting all over it, and that's it's an insult to his profession. And yeah, so that's a damn shame. That's a damn shame, definitely. So that's it. Thank you so much, Dominic. Raul Reynolds drawing. Robert Makes the Cut. And who else? First Power 100. Thank you for chatting with me. And what do you guys think about this latest update on Ezra Miller? And do you think WB made the right decision to not want to work with him anymore or ever again after The Flash? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, subscribe. Let's rock this.